Hey everyone, it's Vijay from HackBuddy. Today making another video. This first week of being laid off, everything kind of opens up like the floodgates, right? Like a river of stuff just kind of like starts flowing in, of thoughts, I would say. And some of that can actually be augmented by social media. I think, after I posted these two videos, I started checking LinkedIn more frequently, as well as YouTube. And, I got some nice comments and feedback and likes and thumbs up and all that. It was great. Now it's kind of getting to the point where I probably should stay off LinkedIn. Like browsing 5 to 10 minutes, I think is fine. But like hanging out there all day is kind of like maybe kind of toxic. Being on social media can make you feel worse. If I start posting about layoffs, LinkedIn's algorithm probably is tuned into some of those keywords and thinks it's going to need to show me more posts about layoffs. And, I'm getting also a lot of controversial like debates about being laid off. Is it your fault or is it the employer's fault? Both. And what I find myself doing is just kind of like contributing sometimes to like some of those posts. And I'm just like, stop. Just don't engage further because you're just feeding the algorithm. It's just going to make it more of a downward spiral. It's challenging right now to be an engineer. It's really hard because expectations have just gotten crazier in some ways. And I think a lot of people are just kind of like fighting. It's almost like a clash, right? Of, the employer versus the employee. And the employer is saying, well, we're only going to keep, the best, the top performers. And so we're just going to have performance evaluations. And if you don't get a performance evaluation, I heard somebody actually say this on LinkedIn, then it probably means you were a low performer. And I was just thinking, what a toxic mindset. Dude, you're the reason that these kind of companies are getting like toxic raps, right? Like that kind of mindset. Maybe he feels justified in how he's, going about saying all this stuff. But that can hurt hurt people's minds. We all talks about mental health and finding peace and happiness. I don't think you can find it like just embracing toxic mindsets. Sure, you should strive to be your best self. I'm never going to tell you not to be your best self. And you should definitely have your own set of like performance criteria for evaluating yourself, right? Like, are you waking up every morning and, are you like really happy about what you're doing? First off, are you actually studying and like building towards a better you? Those are all great things. I wanted to just bring up a book that I saw at Barnes & Noble this week. It was on The Mamba Mentality by Kobe Bryant. And actually, if you look at my room, right, there's a big picture of Kobe Bryant on my wall. And I had this for a long time, actually. I've always been a big Kobe Bryant fan, way back, like since I guess like high school, college days. So, one thing I really enjoyed was, seeing his work ethic and his performance. And, so I just picked up this book and I started reading it. And it literally was like chicken soup for the soul, because his like attitude towards everything was like just amazing, right? Like he always put his best foot forward despite a lot of different things that might have happened to him, like breaking his finger or like, having ankle injuries, just like the drive to go and get the rings, right? And just become like a top performer. But, he wasn't sitting there thinking, I need to be this top performer because like companies are grading me on that. I think that's the wrong mindset. I think he was just doing it because it was coming from him internally. He found it fun. And so like when you come from that kind of mindset where you're just like, you just kind of wake up every day and you just want to like do a great job, I think a lot of this performance evaluation stuff will just kind of like melt away, right? Like you won't even be thinking about it. Like it's the last thing on your mind. And like if you have clear goals in front of you, like I want to do this, or, like for me, that's actually kind of like where I need to be next, right? Like after reading this book, I was just like, this guy was so focused on his goal of having like championship rings. What do I want to do? Like, what is my like long-term focus, right? I feel like that might have been missing for me, like, maybe this past year. I kind of felt like, okay, yeah, I want to be a software engineer, I want to be great. But I didn't have like a specific like focus or drive. It was just, okay, be better at full stack, be better at front end and back end and help out as much as I can, be a team player. But I didn't feel like I had a focus. And so now I'm kind of like, after reading this book again, great book, right? Like if you're feeling depressed, stay off social media. Do not help the downward spiral. Do not help the algorithm make you feel worse. Get out. Just take a break. go and, read good books by good people, like who did like amazing things, and just make yourself feel better. I would even just say, like, unplug from anything toxic. If you have a bunch of friends that are just kind of like making you feel kind of bad, like, stay away from them. It's healthy to kind of just take your own space, and just kind of like focus. One thing I really liked about Kobe was that the guy like made personal spaces for himself. Like, he would just like say, okay, from 5 to 7 in the morning, go to the gym. Then again, 11 to 2, go to the gym. Then afterwards, he would play the game, practice a lot, then go back to the gym like around 7. He also made personal spaces for hanging out with his family. So like, he always woke up and played basketball in the gym, and then came back in time to like have breakfast with his kids, and then also kind of like be there for dinner. I think that was really, really cool of him, man. Like, kind of like to have both like the time for family and then also the time for real practice. And a lot of great things are in that book. I'm still reading it, so I'll probably share some thoughts too. I got a lot of books I'm reading, and so I'll probably pare down and focus. That's something I think like a theme for me as well, like just kind of like making these videos is focus. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you around next videos. Bye.